What's up, guys? It's Rich, back with some more Gray Zone Warfare content for you guys. Today's video is hopefully going to be much more of a discussion type of video as I aim to discuss some of the future for Gray Zone Warfare, what I believe needs to be addressed, and hopefully hear from you guys in the comments as far as what you think the game needs. The main question I've been hearing from people in my live streams and my comments have been, am I worried the game is going to die? The TLDR is no. Even though the player base may be low right now from its original launch, we have to remember where we are in the lifespan of the game. This is the infancy of this game. It just came out of the womb and it's going to be nurtured and tended before we get to see it grow up and begin to take full shape of the vision that Mad Fingers Games has for Gray Zone. We are in early access of this game and it definitely has a long way to go. I don't disagree, the content seems dry and rough, I'm not going to lie to you guys. There's not much to do at all once you hit max level after completing all the quests, and there's not really a lot of variability in terms of playstyles, with 556 constantly dominating the landscape. A simple change right now that a lot of players want and that I think would really benefit the health of the game is to change to AKs. Right now, like I said, 556 dominates and players are getting burnt out of the running M4s and Mark 18s. I personally want to run AKs. I know a lot of people want to just have a different option of guns, and this is really something simple you could do without adding in a lot of content. I actually do run them a lot while I'm streaming just to try different stuff. I've brought this up to the devs and we'll see what the response is, because I think, tell me if I'm wrong with this will help a lot of the player variability and overall health of the base of the game. Just having the ability to have multiple guns without having to even add more content in by fixing the value of the bullets. Right now, the guns is not really the issues about the AKs. It's the 545 ammo and 762 ammo is not doing the right penetration and the right ammo. They removed some of the ammos from the game right now. I guess they're working on them in the background, so we're, fingers crossed that something's going to be happening sooner rather than later. I don't know. I just really hope that they fix these values and get them back in the game, because I really think that this is an easy content type of fix, like a minor content fix that can just definitely change up the way the game feels for a lot of PvP and a lot of players. PvP. If you watch my streams, you know that PvP is what I'm doing 90% of the time. Whether running around chasing players or raiding bases, I've been made aware that the vision of this game is not PvP focused, and I'm totally okay with that right now. Especially with the planned ideas for Ground Zero being a high-level PvP zone with better tiered loot and higher endgame activities. The issue with PvP is lack of other players for hours on end sometimes. Some things to address this can be, 1, raising server player cap per faction from 16 to 20 would help. I imagine it's a good place to test server capacity from 48 to 60 overall, but this can make the world feel more lively just by adding 4 more players from each faction to servers. Obviously, you got to keep in mind performance and server performance while this happens, but I think this is a really safe place to start. That's my opinion on it. Obviously, I don't know necessarily how much this affects server performance, but we'll see. An AFK timer also. Not saying those managing their inventories is a bad thing, but I'm referring to those players that are sitting in the base, deciding to AFK, clogging up server space at the FOB/base. This begins to deteriorate how lively a server can feel. An AFK timer can definitely help servers feel more alive by reducing server load of players wasting space, and bringing players that are playing into a server can most definitely liven up the environment. Helicopters. I know a lot of this was addressed with the community video that came out about 4 or 5 days ago as when I'm recording this. Obviously, I want to touch on it again just to be, make sure that we're all on the same page. It might be the biggest complaint, I think, from the community right now, and they're aware of it, so there's not much that we need to hone down on this. The standing around can obviously get very boring for so many players very quick. They're obviously working on how they're going to optimize this to make it faster. Adding more helis necessarily isn't the best solution, like they've said, because of server performance, and really there's going to be a lot more issues just by adding so many more helis in. However, maybe speeding up helis by 15 to 20% will lower these wait times significantly enough. But I believe this will also encourage many players to play more without being so stressed about the helis. So the heli situation obviously is one of the main things that needs to be addressed, but they are aware of it. I don't want to hone down too much on this because, like I said, put out the community video and address some of these concerns for the helicopters. But hopefully this is one of those things that gets addressed faster rather than later down the pipeline. The last main thing is the timeline of content. I mentioned on my Twitter, I'm fully on board with everything that they want to do. But truly, I believe players just want to eat up content and don't have patience to view a vision of developers. The game needs love, tough love. They need to keep smashing out bugs and continue to improve performance optimizations. I believe as the game gets better, more players will be interested in it. But with that being said, content. There needs to be more meat for the players to sink their teeth into. Most players won't restart accounts for content or do hardcore challenges like me. For content, they'll just drop the game from now, and hopefully they pick it up again when more content drops and more patch, a wipe, day and night cycle, more weapon attachments, whatever it might be. I believe that a lot of players, once they're reaching end game, they're finding that the game doesn't have enough really to do. For more of the hardcore players, you might have, a couple different options, chasing PvP around, wiping their accounts manually, stuff like that. But, the average player needs more stuff to do, in my opinion. or at least more variability, I'll say. Like PvP needs to be a little bit easier to find, or more, daily faction quests and stuff like that would be nice change of pace. I believe the main thing they need to do is speed up the timeline before it may be in a very dangerous state of players, which can happen if there's really nothing new for 4 to 5 months. I'm sure Madfingers is aware and they're making the best decisions for the game going forward. I support whatever they do. I will continue to support all of their decisions. However, I believe we need to get some more juice going here, hopefully sooner rather than later, because as more and more players get to endgame, I believe there's going to be more and more of a drop-off as more and more players want more to do and want their performance to get better. Obviously, this is a very generic statement, but it's a very obvious one that's the main problem with the game right now. Like I said, we're in early access of it and early days of it, and it's only going to get better as we go on, but I want to make sure that I address the concerns of those that are playing the game, those that have, maybe put the game on pause. I want to make sure I try and cover everybody, those that watch my streams and, play every day or whatnot. I want to make sure I try and cover everybody's bases and feels for the game. So let me know, what are your thoughts on these points I covered, and then what do you think can help the game out with realistic approaches? If you did enjoy it, make sure you drop that like to help the video reach the algorithm, and sub for more awesome content as we keep honing in on providing the best product for you guys. Remember, we are doing this full-time now, so I'm going to keep working on making sure I put out the best videos and best content for you guys. I'm obviously going to try a bunch of different extraction shooters and stuff like that to make sure we keep you up to date with different games and stuff like that, but I want to make sure that Gray Zone is the main focus of this channel. If you play Gray Zone, you can catch me live over on Twitch every day live around 8 to 9 Eastern Time. Also, hop in the Discord. We have an awesome community to discuss Gray Zone and other games, and we yap it up a bunch of there, so make sure you hop in the Discord. All right, guys, that sums it up. Peace and love. Thanks for watching. Bye.